Scorpio, listen to me for a moment with your whole spirit, not just your mind. A property blessing is being released to you, and the energy of November 19th is not just another date on the calendar. It is a million day for your soul, a turning point where something about your home, your stability, your land, your sense of "this is mine" begins to shift in a way you can actually feel. You did not land on this message by scrolling aimlessly. You were drawn here like a tide pulled by a hidden moon. Some part of you has already sensed the changes in the air, the restlessness in your chest, the dreams that feel too vivid, the random conversations about houses, moves, loans, or land that seem to pop up out of nowhere. That is not noise, that is signal. November 19th is an activation point, and while the world calls it just another day, your spirit recognizes it as a door. You've always known you were not meant for an ordinary life. Even in your hardest seasons, some inner voice kept whispering, "This can't be where my story ends." You've walked through temporary rooms and survival spaces that never truly felt like home, even when you tried to convince yourself to settle. Maybe you lived in places where you never fully unpacked, where your nervous system never truly relaxed, where you were always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Another bill, another notice, another disruption. Yet here you are, still searching, still listening, still willing to believe that there is a place on this earth where your body and your soul can finally exhale. Maybe you lived in places where you never fully unpacked, where your nervous system never truly relaxed, where you were always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Another bill, another notice, another disruption. Yet here you are, still searching, still listening, still willing to believe that there is a place on this earth where your body and your soul can finally exhale. This channel, this message is not here to entertain you. It is here to confirm what your intuition already knows. If some part of you is whispering, "Yes, this is for me," anchor that energy right now by writing in the comments, "I am ready for my property blessing." Not as a wish, but as a decision. When I say property blessing, I'm not only talking about bricks, walls, and a piece of paper with your name on it, even though for some of you that will literally be part of the miracle. I'm talking about sacred ground prepared for your healing. I'm talking about a roof that doesn't just cover your head but calms your spirit. I'm talking about land, rooms, keys, contracts, opportunities that carry a different frequency from everywhere you've been. This blessing is the answer to years of instability, of moving against your will, of feeling like a guest in your own life. Scorpio, you have given so much in places that were never meant to be permanent. You held families together, paid bills you didn't create, stayed loyal to spaces that did not reciprocate your loyalty. You swallowed your disappointment and focused on survival. But heaven does not forget the one who held the house together when everything else fell apart. This property blessing is not random reward. It is spiritual compensation. Astrologically, the energy around November 19th wraps itself around your chart like a quiet but undeniable wave. We don't need to get lost in technicalities to feel what it means. Emotional depth meeting divine timing, intuition fusing with grounded opportunity. It is as though the sky itself is leaning down, illuminating everything in your life connected to home, security, land, and legacy. Numerologically, the date carries its own code. The energy of 19 collapses into 1, the number of new beginnings, and 10, the completion that births a fresh path. One chapter closes not in chaos, but in quiet certainty, and another begins with you standing in a different role. Not the one begging for a safe place, but the one claiming sacred space. Pay attention if you've been seeing repeating numbers like 111, 1010, 1919, 818, or house numbers that seem to chase you. Pay attention if you keep noticing for sale signs in the same area, or if certain streets, neighborhoods, or buildings call to you for no logical reason. Numbers are the universe's way of clearing its throat. Synchronicities are the language your spirit uses to say, Remember, we've been here before in another form. You're not going crazy, you're being guided. Your dreams may have shifted recently. Images of packing, doors, staircases, strange houses that feel familiar, or standing outside of a home, unable to see the inside, but knowing it belongs to you. Maybe you've had flashes of sitting at a table in a kitchen you don't recognize yet, or watching children, siblings, or elders moving through a peaceful space, laughing, resting, feeling safe. You might even feel emotional for no apparent reason when you imagine these scenes. That is not fantasy. That is your soul rehearsing a reality that is trying to enter. Many of you have an ancestral presence around you right now, a grandmother, mother, or female ancestor who always wanted the family to have stability, but never fully got to experience it. She walks beside you in the unseen, nudging you toward the opportunities she never had, praying you will say yes to what she could only dream of. For some Scorpios, this property blessing will literally arrive as news. A rental contract finally approved, an unexpected loan acceptance, a mortgage offer that you once believed was out of reach, a relative mentioning land or space that has your name quietly written all over it. For others, it will manifest as the chance to move out of a place that has drained you for far too long into something smaller but more peaceful, more aligned, more you. And for some, it will begin as an inner shift, a clear decision to stop calling instability normal, to stop tolerating dangerous or chaotic environments simply because they are familiar. Don't minimize those inner decisions. Every time you say, "I deserve to feel safe where I sleep," you are already rearranging the quantum furniture of your life. Your aura changes, your choices change, your future changes. But here's the part most people skip. Miracles need containers. A property blessing doesn't just require paperwork, it requires an energy field that can hold it. This is where your preparation matters. Begin treating your current space, no matter how imperfect, small, or temporary, like a training ground for what's coming. Declutter one corner that has been ignored. Open a window and speak a blessing out loud over your room, even if you share it. Light a candle or simply place your hand on the wall and say, "Wherever I go next will be peaceful. I am preparing for my sacred home." Cleanliness and order are not about impressing anyone. They are about signaling to the universe, "I am ready to steward more." The law of attraction is not only about what you think, it is also about how you live. Financially, November 19th also acts like a highlighter over your money story. If you want to receive and keep what's coming, your relationship with finances has to shift from fear to partnership. Scorpio, you are not cursed with money. You are conditioned to associate it with stress, conflict, and loss. That's what happens when you watch bills stack up or see loved ones fight over resources. But this new property blessing asks you to take your power back one thought, one choice at a time. Replace, "I always struggle" with, "I am learning to manage more and more with grace." Replace "I never have enough" with, "I am building structures that can hold blessing." Start a small savings jar labeled home, even if you can only add a little. Write the words, "My future keys" somewhere private. Each small action plants a seed in the soil of your reality. This isn't just about you, it's about your line. You are the cycle breaker, the one chosen to transform a story of instability into a story of sanctuary. When a Scorpio heals, the healing never stops with them. Children in your life, your own, your siblings, your friends' kids, will feel the difference when they walk into a home that carries peace instead of tension. Elders connected to you may feel an unspoken relief when they sense that the next generation will be okay. Even those who doubted you will benefit from the stability you're building. You might be the first in your family to sign a deed, to hold a secure lease, to know the feeling of walking up to a door that is not at risk of being taken from you overnight. That is not a small thing. That is spiritual work disguised as paperwork. As this blessing approaches, your emotional body will ask for attention. You cannot carry a new season with an exhausted nervous system. Pay attention to the tightness in your shoulders, the headaches that show up when you think about money or moving, the anxiety that flares when you imagine change. These are not signs that you're weak. They are signals that years of survival have taken a toll. Offer yourself small acts of gentleness. 5 deep breaths before checking your phone in the morning. A moment of silence before bed where you place your hand over your heart and say, "I am safe for now, and more safety is coming." Protect your energy from people who only bring chaos into your space. You are building a new foundation. Not everyone gets a front row seat. On November 19th itself, treat the day as a living ritual. You don't have to do anything dramatic. Subtle is powerful. When you wake up, before you scroll, place your feet on the floor and whisper, "Today, I walk toward the ground prepared for me." Wear something in deep green or soft gold if you can, not as superstition but as a quiet signal of growth and value. Pay attention to messages, emails, calls, or invitations that appear that day, especially if they involve space, contracts, relocation, jobs that could impact your living situation or family matters. The call about your property blessing may not be a literal phone call. It might be an inner pull to research something, an ad that feels strangely on point, or a conversation that suddenly makes the impossible seem possible. Your job is not to force anything. Your job is to listen. Do one grounded action that day for your future home. Look at a listing in an area that makes your heart feel calm, even if it's far beyond your current means. Start a folder on your phone called My Future Space and save images that soothe you. Stand outside under the sky and say, "Show me where I'm meant to be." You are not begging, you are collaborating. Remember that the universe responds powerfully when a Scorpio commits with their whole heart. Your energy is intense by design, and when you focus that intensity on creating sanctuary instead of surviving chaos, timelines bend. As you navigate all of this, hold this gentle truth close. This message is not a contract or a guarantee in the human sense. It is a mirror of one beautiful possibility that already exists in the field around you. Think of this narrative as a kind of soul story, a reflective vision offered to help you remember how powerful you truly are. If what you're hearing lights up your intuition, if it feels like it's reading a chapter you haven't written yet but already recognize, then let it strengthen your faith and guide your next steps. If parts of it don't resonate, let them drift past you like clouds moving across a wide sky, because not every story belongs to every heart. What matters most is not the specific date or detail, but the awakening of the knowing inside you that says, "I am allowed to have a home that heals me." This journey is not about predicting an outcome for you. It's about inviting you to step into the energy that can attract profound change. Whether it arrives through a legal document, a set of keys, or a deeper sense of belonging than you've ever known, Scorpio, by the time you've reached this point, something inside you has already shifted. You are no longer just wishing for safer ground. You are quietly claiming it. You are no longer just surviving rooms that were never built for your spirit. You are preparing to inhabit spaces that reflect your growth. So take one more breath with me. Inhale the possibility. Exhale the doubt. And with your hand over your heart, whisper these words out loud or write them in the comments so that your own eyes can witness your decision. I am ready for my sacred home. I welcome the property blessing meant for me in the right way at the right time, for the highest good of all connected to me. Let that be your signature in the unseen. If this message found you exactly when you were questioning your next step, consider that an answer in itself. You are not late. You have not missed your chance. You are standing at the threshold of a new chapter where your room, your keys, your address, your view begin to match the strength and tenderness of your spirit. As you move through November 19th and the days that follow, walk like someone who knows that life is not punishing them. It is finally catching up to the prayers they whispered in the dark. And if this spoke to your soul, take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and share it with another Scorpio who needs to be reminded that stability and sweetness are not luxuries. They are part of their destiny. The property blessing is already moving in your direction. Keep your heart open, your spirit grounded, and your eyes gently watching for the signs. Your million day is not just coming, Scorpio. On some level, it has already begun.